All right, actively note-taking and actively listening. Here we go. This is my first example. So what is 7G about? After you practice the skill 7B, 7D, 7E, you've got an idea of inverse operations. Okay? You've got an idea of how to solve. In 7G, you'll be given worded problems or worded sentences, and your job is to then write the equation. So you have to be able to take this example and then convert it to an equation so that you can solve. So let's read this problem together. You've got the weight of 6 identical books. Okay, so the key word identical. So they are the same book, 6 of them, and the total weight is 1.2 kilograms. Okay, what is the weight of one book? Now the first step is I don't want the answer, I want to know the equation. What is the equation, AJ?
1.2 divided by 6.
Now you're telling me the method to solving it. It is 1.2 divided by 6, but I want to know the equation. What is the starting problem? Because this whole chapter 7 is about you getting the problem and then solving it. So you told me the method to solve. I don't want to know the answer. I don't want a method. I want the equation. Michael?
You could do something like each book is equal to x, and then 6x equals 1.2.
Perfect. So what I want you to see here, this is one way of doing it. This is a very nice, simple equation to start off with. Alternatively, if you didn't understand why it's 6x, AJ, out, thank you. You know my rules, no throwing. So 6x, where did the 6x come from? Remember, we don't know the weights of these books, but we know they're identical. So what Michael said was, well, what if x was the weight of each book? Okay? If I have 6 of them, what you would have done is you would have said, well, 6 of them means I've got one weight, one book, plus another 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 book. See, that's 6 of these books together gives you a total weight of 1.2. But we know that x plus x plus x plus x, there has to be a shorter way of doing this. This is what you were doing in chapter 5. Chapter 5, you can simplify this as 6 groups of x. That's why Michael said 6x is equal to 1.2. So that's what I want you to be able to do. What we're doing here is we're trying to take the wording of the problem. Thank you, AJ. We're taking the wording of the problem to then convert it into an equation. That's the key. So that's what's sometimes a bit tricky. If you're not reading the problem right, you might write the wrong equation. But once you've got it now, how do I solve for x? How do I solve for x? I want to get rid of the 6. It's 6 something with the x. What am I doing between the 6 and the x? What's happening? Multiply. Very good. So if I want to get rid of this multiplying 6, I have to do the opposite. And the opposite of that must be dividing by 6. Very good. And this is where AJ was saying before. He said 1.2 divide 6. And the reason why is because if I divide 6 on both sides, I know I'm undoing the problem here. I'm taking times 6, divide 6. So 6 divides 6. What is 6 divided 6 again? 1, good, not 0. Okay, so it's 1, and then 1 with the x, so 1 times x gives me a nice 1x is equal to, now 1.2 divided by 6, what's the answer?
0.2.
0.2, very good. So now I know each of these books weigh 0.2 kilograms. Okay, so we now know, therefore, each book weighs 0.2 kilograms. Okay? So the hardest part of this exercise is not the solving part, it's actually the forming the equation. So that's what I want you to do. So that's the example for today. So in exercise 7G, if you're up to date, that's the kind of exercise you'll be doing. You'll be given questions, worded sentences, and you need to read it carefully to construct your equation. In the later stages in the senior level, that's what's tricky. Students need to be able to extrapolate the wording of the sentence to then solve the problem. So we're now starting off in year 8 for you to be introduced to the idea. So as you're reading the sentences, how do you write it out? That's the key skill. AJ.
What does those little 3 dots mean?
Oh, very good question. Anyone know what these 3 dots mean? I do it quite often, but I never told you what it was. Anyone know what this means? Symbol. It's like a triangle. It's like 3 corners.
Answer?
Therefore. Okay, so here I'm saying, after I've done all this,